What exactly is the Cozumel Organic and Experimental Greenhouse? Well, it was originally funded by Rotary as a hydroponic greenhouse, and we are here today in 2024 because the hydroponics was not sustainable. And for 7 years, Alvia nurtured the greenhouse so it wouldn't be converted into a parking lot. But now the great transformation is taking place, and the grand opening is the 1st of September 2024. Transformations take time, effort, phases, and funds. Phase 1 is almost done. Clean the whole property, and Phase 2 is organizing each area. Lupita started to volunteer in October 2023, and she prepared all those tire planters so you could paint them. And she and her husband, Mike, built the shelves you also painted. She'll continue to work in the greenhouse and also teach classes in making decorative planters and decorative pavers for the paths. Lucero's Alvia's friends, and she and Alvia run a bazaar on weekends where the ornamentals are sold. She is becoming more involved in the greenhouse. It sucks you in, and the vision grows as more hands help. Geraldo is a university professor. His interests are in sustainable agriculture. His students will experiment and produce diverse self-watering systems. You know that support within the educational system is essential. This project can't exist with brains alone. Projects like this require brawn. So meet Mike. In his real life, he's the brain. Mike is Lupita's husband, and you'll see the white paths on the side of the greenhouse that Mr. Braun made. Now let me introduce you to Adrian. He's Alvia's husband, and they both originally taught at the Rotary Hydroponics Project. He's a trained hydrologist with 15 years of experience in vermicomposting, and he's going to become more involved in the project as it unfolds now. Alvia's vision was always a hub with lots of spokes. She wants to teach practical and hands-on classes for students and adults, ranging from making soils to growing in containers. Her passion is planting and selling ornamentals. She also wants to grow multiple varieties of basil, mint, squashes, cucumbers, potatoes, tomatoes, and more. She also wants to make, teach, and sell garden organic fertilizers and pest repellents. But there's more. Developing easy water systems, making bio-char and terra preta, encourage and teach small local commercial growing, and building and selling multi-level growing containers. Let me take you on a tour. In this photo, you've just stepped through the entrance. You see a little part of a tree on your left, and we're going to go there next. But that whole right side of that were the tires. It was totally overgrown, and Lupita cleaned up that whole length of the greenhouse. She emptied out, and she had to sieve all the soil. It was loaded with styrofoam, clean all the pots in order to get them ready to come to you to paint. We've now turned left at that tree, and you can see one of Mr. Braun's paths. On the left-hand side, near the road, will be espaliered citrus trees. And on the right side, that whole 60-foot is going to be in-ground culinary herbs, modern ones, Mexican ones, and Mayan ones, so that people can come and buy fresh culinary herbs. First peek inside the greenhouse. 2.5 months ago, it was much more chaotic. Now we're beginning to organize individual spaces. You can see how in disrepair the structure is. But it's more important than that. Even the black tension wires that hold the structure up need to be replaced. The cover and the sides, and there need to be some posts put in the ground. But on the left-hand side is the beginning of the ornamental area. People are going to come in first to be able to see the exquisite ornamentals that Alvia grows, and this will also be the teaching area for classes. Do you recognize those shelves? You painted 2 more of the 3 that we had at the workday, and Alvia has organized the tables and made certain that everything under the tables are exactly what she needs. The area to the left of the shelves is going to be the sick bay to plants that come in and need to be revitalized. And what's the idea for the plants in the garden? They have to be usable, manageable, edible, and beautiful. You're now looking at that area across from those tables. To the right, that black thing is where Alvia makes the soil for the ornamentals. That whole area will be developed to be a work and teaching area for the ornamentals. How do we get so many bathtubs? There are actually 6 of them. They all came from the hydroponics, and they were full of styrofoam as well as soil. We haven't quite figured out what to do with them. We don't really want to grow these kind of raised beds, so we're either going to try to find out whether we can bury them and drill heaps of holes in them and let them self-irrigate, or whether we're going to toss them. In this photo, I just want to point out the path. On that right-hand side, all the way down, are going to be containers of fruits and vegetables that are self-watering. And take a look at the metal posts. We have 4 metal uprights that are 4 meters apart. There's going to be metal rods between all of those posts so that we can experiment with hanging self-watering containers, all used from trash, flowers, ornamentals, fruits, and vegetables. Okay, Mr. Braun's other path. And you can see way out front the 3 tinacos for the hydroponics. All along that wall are going to be self-watering containers that are going to be full of all these varieties of vegetables that we're going to grow. And to the right, you get a peek at the new compost area. This is the new compost area, and behind it you can see the maintenance yard. The one with the bag on it is the first place where the compost goes. A week later, 2 weeks later, we turn it over into the number 2, and 3 weeks later, we get soil. Now that soil came from emptying out all of the tires that you painted, all of the bathtubs, and all of the other containers that were full of dirt and styrofoam. All of this has been strained to get rid of the styrofoam. And all of the soil will be reused both for the ornamentals, the succulents, and growing the fruits and vegetables throughout the garden. You can see the shed. We've cleaned the shed out now, and we're beginning to put the garden tools and shelves in there. You can see that metal frame, but that small frame, we're going to put metal fencing to the left between the framing and over the top. And then we're going to be able to grow climbing fruits and vegetables. We've set up a GoFundMe page, Cozumel Organic and Experimental Garden, and your financial assistance is absolutely essential. The Texas Rotary team that helped the greenhouse planted and they painted some more, and then they painted some more. So we want to give a big thanks from the greenhouse gang to the Rotary who visited Cozumel on May 5th, 2024. Please hear from us. A big thank you to all of you. Yes, a good clap, thumbs up, and high five.